Well, that story now, gospel singer Lundi Tyamara passing away in the early hours of this morning. The 38-year-old hitmaker spent weeks in hospital after he was diagnosed with stomach TB and a liver condition. Last night, a prayer service was held for Tyamara at the Johannesburg Central Methodist Church. He was well known for his hit song, Performawam. Well, we're joined on the line now by Tyamara's former manager, that's Tshepo Nzimande. Tshepo, a very good morning to you. Well, I suppose it isn't a good morning, and I'm sure there's shock all round in the industry and among your peers.
Yeah, it's hard, ma'am. Good morning to the listeners and to you guys. It's a bit hard, you know. We've just lost Tshepo Nzimande last year late, and now it's Lundi. And Lundi was the one who introduced Fiso to me. You know, now it's a bit hard.
You had obviously worked very closely with him in the past. We heard from Rebecca Malope earlier describing him as he had worked as her backup singer for a while as well. Just tell us about, you know, your experiences with Lundi, what he was like as a person and what he was like on stage.
Well, Lundi as a person, he was a go-getter. Because I remember when I was still working with Rebecca as head driver and the road manager and the sound guys, he came to Joburg twice in the 90s. He came to Joburg twice, and we kept on chasing him away because he was very young. Caesar Zakoden was our manager. But he kept on coming back to Joburg and saying, "I want to sing with you, Sis Rebecca. I want to be in the music industry." And then later in 1996, I formed a record company called KK Production, where I recorded Kollega to Bula. And then later I moved to Bula Music to work with Peter Clady and some other guys, Clive Hardwick and Harvey. And then I said to them, there's a boy that I want to record, I want to produce. And Peter said, who? I said, no, I'll tell you once I'm done. We did the first album of Lundi called Performawam in 1998. By June, I finished the album, and then we released his debut album in October. By December, we were on 18,000 copies, and we said, guys, there's legs on this album. This is going to be big. The following year, he was nominated as the best newcomer, and we sold over 380,000 on his debut album, which is Performawam.
I mean, at 38 years old, he was largely successful. He has been largely successful. What do you say, apart from his obvious talent, what was Lundi's secret to success? What was his star quality?
I think he had one exclusive gift. There was no secret. The only secret he had was God gave him a unique voice. That voice, Lundi will take a simple song and make it a hit. That was his, and he had energy on stage. When he presents on stage, he was very powerful. Although during his time, Lundi, he had a lot of challenges. I mean, he had a lot of challenges with his behavior. As a young child, being exposed to money and fame, I mean, he used to confess on many things. Sometimes I would get shocked as his producer that, are you really doing this, you know? And he kept on going. But to be honest with you, we've lost one of the best. One thing I remember about him, I will always remember with Lundi. Lundi had respect. Lundi will insult you and do what, but when it's time to say, I'm sorry, that's one thing he knew, that's, I'm sorry, you know, and I've learned a lot on him when it comes to that. But unfortunately now it's too late. If it's God's will, then it's fine. You know, it's fine, because I couldn't stand to see him sleeping there. On Sunday, I was there. I couldn't stand. I mean, I had to do something because it's been long I'm not seeing him, because he was bought by Anele's record company. They bought him from me. And seeing him lying there on bed, and I felt like taking him out of the bed and getting there and take all his pains. I couldn't stand to see him there. But if really God has made a decision, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing we can do.
You know. How close are you to his family? What do you know of who he survived by?
He survived with his three sisters and the brother. His mother passed on, I think, in 1996. Sorry, 2006. And then the father followed after, his stepfather. He survived with his siblings only and his nephews.
Thanks very much for that. Our condolences to you, Lundi Tyamara's former manager, Tshepo Nzimande.